Today, we are diving deep into one of the most powerful, yet wildly misunderstood, concepts in all of marketing. It's a strategy that works not by, tweaking your ad copy or changing a button color, but by fundamentally re-engineering the psychology of the buying decision itself. We're talking about risk reversal.
The greatest strategic failure in marketing is the safety footnote, believing that your guarantee is a liability to be hidden while ignoring the neurological fact that your customer's fear of loss is the only thing standing between you and the sale. And that right there, that's the key to this entire explainer. For decades, businesses have treated their guarantee like some annoying legal requirement, right? A piece of fine print they tuck away in the footer of a website, seeing it as a cost center, a liability, instead of what it really is, a growth engine.
But what if that whole way of thinking is completely backward? What if the very thing you're trying to hide is the absolute key to unlocking your growth? You see, the primary purpose of a guarantee isn't actually to process refunds. It's to give a potential customer the psychological permission they need to just say yes in the first place. That's the paradox. Your guarantee isn't for the handful of people who might want their money back. It's for the legions of people who are just too afraid to give you their money to begin with.
So this brings us to the old broken model, what I call the safety footnote failure. It's a whole philosophy that's really rooted in this old Latin phrase that has poisoned countless businesses. Caveat emptor, which means let the buyer beware. It's this idea that, hey, once the sale is made, the risk is now the customer's problem. And that is without a doubt a losing strategy.
This slide really lays it all out. On the left, you got the old way, buyer beware. All the risk is piled onto the customer. So their brain isn't calculating all the cool benefits, it's busy calculating the cost of being wrong. What if I lose money? What if I waste my time? This triggers a massive fear of loss, and the brain's default response to that fear is just inaction, do nothing. But on the right, you have risk reversal. Here, the seller steps up and voluntarily takes on 100% of the risk. And that sends this incredibly powerful signal of confidence that completely changes the customer's mental math, clearing the path for them to finally say yes.
Okay, so how do we actually make this shift from buyer beware to seller beware in a systematic way? Well, the answer isn't just, a friendly refund policy. It's a precisely engineered system that I call the risk transfer engine. Its one and only job is to move the entire burden of potential failure from the buyer to the seller, creating what feels like a total no-brainer decision.
And this engine runs on 3 critical levers, and each one is designed to dismantle a very specific psychological barrier. First, you've got the confidence signal, which is all about disarming skepticism. Second, we have to neutralize loss aversion. This is how we turn off their fear of making a mistake. And third, we use something called the Endowment Effect anchor. Now this is the secret ingredient that makes the whole thing profitable. Let's break each one down.
So the first lever is the confidence signal. When a company offers a really bold, aggressive guarantee, like say a 110% money-back promise, it's doing way more than just offering a refund. It's broadcasting a message straight to the customer's subconscious brain. And that message is, this product is so good, this solution is so effective that we are literally willing to bet our own money on your success. This creates a state of what psychologists call cognitive ease. The customer just stops looking for the hidden catch. Their skepticism starts to melt away because the company has put its own skin in the game.
Now, for the second lever, and this is maybe the most important one, neutralizing loss aversion. By offering a really clear, simple, frictionless exit, you are making a direct promise to the buyer's brain. No, loss is possible here. That promise acts like a switch. It deactivates the amygdala, which is the brain's primitive fear center. That's the part of the brain that's screaming, danger, you might regret this. When you take away the possibility of loss, you silence that alarm. And for the first time, the customer can stop worrying about the downside and finally start focusing on the upside, the actual benefits your product delivers.
And this is the crucial twist. This is the secret sauce that makes the whole system so profitable. The second the purchase is made, a brand new psychological force takes over, the endowment effect. It's a well-documented bias where we human beings place a higher value on things just because we own them. That software you just downloaded, that book sitting on your desk, your brain has already started integrating it into your identity. It's yours now, and returning it would actually feel like a loss in itself. So, the guarantee got them in the door. The endowment effect convinces them to stay.
All right, let's look at the hard science behind all of this. Because this isn't just some clever marketing theory, it's all grounded in decades of research in behavioral economics. We're going to go inside the buyer's brain to really understand why trust isn't an emotion, it's a calculation.
This quote comes from the work of Nobel Prize winners Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, and it's the foundation of something called prospect theory. It is one of the most important discoveries in modern psychology. The pain of losing something is about twice as powerful, emotionally and neurologically, as the pleasure of gaining something of the exact same value. I mean, think about it. Losing a $100 bill feels way worse than the joy of finding one. This is the core psychological wall every single customer is up against.
This chart makes it crystal clear. That feeling of gaining $100, let's call that our baseline. That's 1x. But the sting of losing that same $100, that's 2x as powerful. This imbalance is hardwired into our brains. It's a survival mechanism, right? Our ancestors who were more afraid of losing their food supply than they were excited about finding a new one, well, they were the ones who were more likely to survive. This is the huge, invisible force your customer is fighting against every time they even think about buying from you.
So here's the bottom line. Risk reversal is a direct counterattack against that 2x pain. When you offer a 100% money-back guarantee, you're not just offering a refund, you are making a promise of zero loss. You are telling the most powerful, most primitive part of your customer's brain that the 2x pain factor has been taken completely off the table. From a behavioral economics standpoint, it is the single most compelling incentive you can possibly offer, period. And now, we get to the most counterintuitive and honestly the most powerful part of this whole strategy. Common sense tells you that the longer you give someone to return a product, the more likely they are to actually return it. But the data shows the exact opposite is true. This is what we call the longevity paradox. Just look at this. A standard 30-day guarantee actually creates a sense of urgency. The customer has a deadline looming, so they're more likely to make a decision and act on any little bit of dissatisfaction. But when you extend that guarantee to 90 days or even a full 365 days, something amazing happens. The refund rate goes down. Why? Two big reasons. First, it completely removes all urgency. The customer thinks, oh, I've got a whole year, I'll decide later. Procrastination kicks in. And second, and this is more important, it gives the endowment effect a full year to work its magic. After 6 months, that product isn't just something they bought, it's a part of their life. The thought of returning it becomes more and more psychologically painful.
And all of this leads us to the only metric that really truly matters. While a longer guarantee might cause a tiny change in your refund rate, the massive increase in the number of people who buy in the first place, your conversion rate, it just completely dwarfs that cost. The end result is a significant increase in your net profit per visitor. You are making more money from every single person who sees your offer, all because you removed their biggest reason for saying no. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. We get the engine, we get the psychology. Now let's shift to the how. How do you take these principles and turn your guarantee from a passive piece of legal text into your single most powerful sales weapon? Here's a simple 3-step framework for mastery. First, audit specific fears. Don't just offer a generic guarantee. Figure out the exact anxiety your customer has. If you sell productivity software, don't just say money back. Say if you don't save 10 hours this month, you get a full refund. Get specific. Second, increase the duration. You have to embrace the longevity paradox. Go from 30 days to 90 or 180 or even 365 days. It signals ultimate confidence and lets the endowment effect do the heavy lifting for you. And third, make it first-tier creative. This means you gotta stop hiding your guarantee in the footer. Drag it out of the basement and put it in your headlines, in your ads, in the very first paragraph of your sales page. Make it the star of the show. But really, the most important step here is a mental one. You have to change how you keep score. You have to stop obsessing over your refund rate as the main metric. A small percentage of refunds is just the cost of doing business. It's the investment you make to unlock a much, much larger conversion rate. The true north, the only metric that really matters, is net profit per visitor. When you focus on that, a bold guarantee is no longer an expense, it's the best insurance policy for profitability you could ever buy.
And this brings us right to the core insight of this entire explainer, because this is so much more than just a marketing tactic. It's really a philosophy about business, about trust, and about asymmetric risk. In any transaction, somebody has to take a leap of faith. Someone has to be the brave one.
The single biggest barrier to any sale is not the price or the features, it is the customer's deep, deep-seated fear of being wrong. And to overcome that, you, the seller, have to be the brave one. You must structurally and publicly assume 100% of that risk. This isn't a trick, it's the absolute foundation of building honest, high-value offers. It's a system that empowers brands who genuinely believe in their product and are willing to stand behind it with their own capital. It is the ultimate expression of having skin in the game.
Because ultimately, the best marketing doesn't push people through a funnel. It pulls them toward value because it removes the fear of the fall. By building a safety net underneath your customer, by promising them that they cannot possibly lose, you don't just make a sale, you earn trust. And in the end,
That's the only asset that truly matters.